And after responding to as many as 400 collisions yesterday, it's been a bit less hectic today for OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt, along with the rest of the OPP. I'm sure you've probably done about 400 interviews in the past 24 hours. What's the latest from where you are today? Where are you, Sarge?
Yeah, this is King Road and Highway 400. I'm in the commuter lot here right now. Lots of cars piled with snow. Clouds have been through here, but it's those parking lots, right, where you can't really tell where the lane lines are, where the parking spots are. With the 400 behind me is running beautifully. Cars are kind of back up at the limit. The roads are wet, but you will get sometimes caught by surprise when you get to that off-ramp, because even in the bullnose areas, there's massive piles of snow. They've been clearing the ramps, but there's often much narrower lanes on the ramps themselves. And like Lisa was saying earlier, those shoulders, if you break down or you need to stop your vehicle in an emergency, there is a good possibility you may not be able to pull onto a shoulder, because many of those shoulders have not been cleared wide enough to allow a full vehicle to park on. So that's something to be aware of. And on the secondary roads as well, and some of those ramps that are less traveled, a lot of snowpack is coming down, or is being packed in. So as much as the plows have been through, there's areas where it's snowpacked. So you may go from pretty decent traction on a mostly wet road that's been salted to an area that's been salted, but there's still snow that's been packed down almost into ice. And if you hit your brakes on that, you are going to find yourself sliding. So don't become complacent that just because the highways are clear, that the ramps and everything else will be clear as well. And if there is more snow coming this afternoon, later today, that's going to mask a lot of those issues underneath. And if we get back to those frigid temperatures, obviously the freezing is going to reapply, and they'll have to come back with more salt and more plowing operations. So, always maintain vigilance, and always keep an eye on what's going on around you, but particularly up in front of you, and be prepared to react.
It's also important to not only highlight the efforts from the snow clearing crews, but also the efforts of individuals like yourself and other OPP officers. We were just reporting on an incident involving a separate collision where an OPP officer had his vehicle rear-ended. It really highlights the challenges, but also the dangers for emergency responders when they're out there trying to deal with all these calls and emergencies.
Yeah, when you see those red or blue flashing lights, we're always wearing our high vis, but during the day, at night, or wherever, when there's something going on the highways, we're trying to manage the situation. And if cars are coming through closure seas, which we even saw yesterday at some of the closures, drivers are getting frustrated and they're blowing right through closures, or they're trying to get around snowplows. I know they're driving slower than maybe you think you want to drive, but they're doing what they can to help everyone. And so as much as it may be a sacrifice for us for a few minutes, let's let them do their jobs. Let them get those shoulders and those ramps and everything else, those secondary roads plowed up nice and clean. And let's wait for the next snowstorm. And hopefully we're ready, in a better position, and we won't have any problems.
Well, good luck out there today, Sergeant Kerry Schmidt. Appreciate your time as always.